So I recently graduated college, and I've been thinking back on all the games that I played in the last 4 years. Whether it was for stress relief, to connect with friends, or wanting to immerse myself in a great story, video games are with me every step of the way. I played quite a lot of games, some I liked and some I didn't care for so much. But in this video, I'm going to talk about my top 10 games I played in college. This was the very first game that I 100%ed and was very determined to do so. I heard good things about Infamous Second Son shortly after I got a PS4 and wanted to give it a shot. Man, oh man, I didn't think that I would spend so much time in this game. Infamous follows Delsin, a conduit who has the ability to develop various superpowers throughout the game. I loved all the powers that Delsin gains, and it progressed the story in such an engaging way. Each part of the map had different challenges and secrets to complete and find in order to 100% it. However, going around the fictional version of Seattle never got old, and the game provided me with so much fun that it gave me the determination to 100% it, something I very, very rarely ever do. Square Enix is my favorite developer, but don't get me wrong, waiting around for this game for ages sucked. But it was the first action RPG Final Fantasy game to be released. I hate turn-based combat, so I couldn't wait to dive right into the story of Prince Noctis and his friends. I downloaded the game day one and played quite a lot of it. As I was downloading, I even watched the anime to gain more insight. I really loved playing it, but as other games came out, Final Fantasy 15 fell by the wayside. I came back to Final Fantasy 15 a year later and realized how much I missed playing it. The combat, no matter what anyone says, was super fun for me. I really enjoyed taking out all the monsters and soldiers and progressing through the story, which I found to be quite heartfelt and interesting, which launched me into a deep dive into the background and lore of the game. Overall, a very solid number 9 spot for me. I did a whole video about why I love Journey, so click here if you want to learn more about why I like it. Sorry for the shameless plug. I played this game over summer break and was glued to it for my entire playthrough. I was so enticed by the story of Chloe and Max, and every chapter left me wanting more. This game really threw me into a kick of wanting to play decision-based games and led me into picking up many similar titles that I really enjoyed. The story was so real feeling, especially for a young college student. It dealt with actual teen issues and did so in a way that didn't feel all too cringy, which media seems to have an issue with. There were times in the game where the decisions I made had me sweating and actually nervous about the results that would follow. I found myself making decisions that I thought would be beneficial or the right move, and then having everything slip through the cracks and go wrong. Life is Strange perfectly mastered this decision system and knew how to tug at my heartstrings. I decided to buy the game over my Thanksgiving break and beat it in 2 days. I really love the fact that this game was short and to the point, but allowed you to put in as many hours as you wanted. During my time in college, I found myself gravitating towards games that were on the shorter side due to my busy day-to-day schedule, and Spider-Man was just that. Not only that, but Spider-Man was an easy platinum trophy game. My friend and I finished off the last few trophies in order to gain the game's highest honor. It really reminded me of Infamous and how much I loved maneuvering around the city, fighting crimes and completing all the challenges in the districts. Though the gameplay was fun and the story was great, I sunk a majority of my playtime in two different aspects of the game. Swinging around and feeling like Spider-Man would take up many hours of my time. Sometimes I wouldn't even start missions. I would just swing from one end of the city to the other, trying out different techniques and seeing how fast I could whip around buildings. The other time sink was photo mode. This game was so incredibly beautiful that it was hard not to pause every 5 seconds and try to craft a perfectly framed photo. I had to stop myself from taking too many to save room on my PS4 because the amount I was taking was really starting to rack up. Overall, this was the perfect game to play in a quick sitting, but still had a lot to come back to whenever I decided to swing back in again. From the start, this game looked so creative and right up my alley. I love futuristic robots, and the blend with primal settings was so fresh and new that I had to check this game out. The world design is hands down one of the most creative I've ever seen in a while, and the graphics were so beautiful that it was hard not to take seconds out of the fast-paced gameplay to stop and stare at the surrounding world. The lore that they created was rich and gratifying to look into, whether it was reading up on the machines or scouring the wiki for more on the characters and tribes. The main story was a blast to play, and unlocking different secrets in various portions of the map was a joy to discover. I found myself doing many side quests in order to engage myself in the world even more. Now, what really stood out for me about Horizon was the combat and stealth. Bow and arrow combat in games can be more or less wonky at times, but Horizon nailed it. It felt accurate, powerful, and fast, and it just worked. I had so much fun learning about machine weak spots and stealthing my way through the tall grass to try and find the best approach to taking down these beasts. I'm usually not one to enjoy tactical combat, but I found myself really looking into the different weaknesses and strategies to take down the machine machines more than I ever have in any game. Aloy has also become a PlayStation icon and one of my favorite characters, which is well deserved. Horizon gave us a strong female protagonist, which we need more of in gaming. Her dedication to her journey, incredible skill, charm, and wit made her character incredibly enjoyable to play as. My fingers are tightly crossed for a Horizon Zero Dawn 2 in the near future. When I got my PS4 freshman year, I got the Uncharted Collection bundle. The first 4 games that I played on this system were Uncharted 1, 2, 3, and then 4. When I saw trailers for Uncharted 4, I was super excited to play it. The Uncharted stories are straightforward and give you an enjoyable experience to play through. These games are always so amazingly made that it feels like you're playing through a movie. After playing all the previous Uncharteds in such a short time, I was so ready to play the 4th installment of Nathan Drake's saga. Every second of this game was action-packed and fun. Gunplay, fun. Parkour, fun. Vehicles, fun. Exploring, fun. Playing Crash Bandicoot, fun. There was never a dull moment at any point. But what was most fun was watching the bond between Nathan and his brother Sam unfold before your eyes. The reason that this is high on my list is that, though it sounds weird and cheesy, these characters felt like they were my friends. After playing all of the Uncharted so quickly back to back, the story of these characters became so rich that I was so engaged. The way that the characters would interact would make you feel like you were right there, exploring with Nathan, Sam, and Sully. I have great memories playing Uncharted 4 late summer nights that will stick with me forever, and that I wouldn't trade for anything in the gaming world. I didn't expect to like Red Dead 2 purely based on the fact that it was a long game and all the gameplay I watched looked so slow. As I mentioned before, I like short games. Other than breaks, I didn't really have much time to play longer games, so what did I do? I played Red Dead over winter break. I've never been happier to be so wrong about a game in my life. Man, every second of this game was so immersive and the world was so fun to explore. You really had all the freedom to do whatever you wanted in this game. There would be times where I would ride around on my horse for hours on random paths just to see what kind of events and challenges would arise. You can feel like a badass at times, but then realize you've bitten off more than you can chew when you are humbled by a gang of bounty hunters. Gunfights were exhilarating and action-packed and made for quite the heart rate increase. The fast moments felt fast and the slow moments felt relieving and peaceful. Red Dead really knew how to pace a game, which is why the 60+ hour playthrough felt so much shorter than that. The world felt so grounded and real, and all the little tedious tasks and details paid off in the end. But the storyline, oh man, the storyline. Well, that was some of the best storytelling I've ever seen in gaming. I played through the story with high honor, and it took me for the biggest emotional roller coaster ever. Arthur Morgan quickly became one of my favorite video game characters of all time with his amazing character arc. This story felt like playing a series of novels. The way each chapter would start and end would take you on 6 journeys all in themselves. There were times where I would feel so sad for characters and would be so mad at others. Red Dead 2 is a perfect example of how to write not only good character development, but amazing character development. After reviewing the stats that PlayStation gave me at the end of the year, this game was the number 2 game that I spent the most time on in 2018, and I only got the game in December. This game really taught me that sometimes it pays off to spend a little extra time on a game. You'll really get more out of it than you expect. Long story short, Kingdom Hearts is my favorite series ever. I grew up with this game and have anticipated the arrival of Kingdom Hearts 3 for an eternity. It was really cool to finally receive this game in my last semester at college, and I saw it as quite a poetic moment. Needless to say, it has a super special place in my heart. Just to give you some insight as to how excited I was for Kingdom Hearts 3, I may or may not have cried about 3 or 4 times before even opening the box for the first time. Anyway, this game was everything that I hoped for and more. Now I know it didn't get the greatest reviews, but I personally thought it was a great step forward for the series and really brought the game to the forefront of the mainstream gaming population more than any other installment in the series. The combat was extremely fun, and there were so many new additions to make sure that it never got stale. Every smash with the Keyblade and all the transformations made you feel super powerful and allowed for a lot of customization in how you wanted to fight, which is something I love about Kingdom Hearts. The story closed out the saga in a way that my die-hard fan self was very happy with. I had so much fun exploring and had the drive to search for chests and Mickey emblems more than I ever did in any other game in the series. The worlds felt alive and fresh, and the graphics looked beautiful to go along with that. I'm really excited to see what the future holds for Kingdom Hearts, especially after seeing the sick post-credit scene. With that, let's go on to my number 1 game. Not only is this game my number 1 game on this list, but it became my top game of all time, faster than 2B could swing her sword or 9S could hack into a machine. I've had nothing bad to say about this game other than I'm mad I have to wait to get more content. Nier engulfed me from the moment I picked up my controller to play it. I really wanted to play a new game and play something that was different from the games I had at the time. I saw a GIF on the PS4 subreddit of 2B's combat in slow motion. I thought, this seems pretty cool, and the rest was history. Instantly, you're thrown into a bullet hell battle with these awesome flying mechs. As the game progresses, the characters whisk you away and you become so tightly drawn to them that the emotionally tough moments of the game hurt so bad, and the moments of bittersweet happiness feel so real. Yoko Taro is a brilliant game director, and Nier allowed his wit to shine through brighter than a machine explosion. The game is funny, it's clever, emotional, dark, and action-packed. Every mission and side mission has meaning, whether it's a quick laugh or a way to learn more about the lore-rich world that Taro has created. The multi-ending story allows for replayability and the opportunity to gain the deepest understanding of these characters. The music is top-notch, and I constantly listened to it when I was studying or just walking around a class. This was the game that I always was looking for but never knew I needed to play. It checked off everything, and I mean everything, that is on my video game list. Nier drastically broke down this creative block that I was in during 2017. For some reason, the world, story, music, everything just made me feel so inspired again. The game made me want to go out and create something and not be afraid to express myself, much like Yoko Taro himself is known to do. I've read the lore guides, I've read the books, I've watched the live concerts on YouTube. I just love this game so much, and I'm so thankful that I found it. I'll always remember the days of sitting in class, itching to get back to my room to engulf myself in the world of Nier, and I can't wait to see what the future holds for this series that I'm so proud is doing very well. I wanted to keep it short and to the point because I have a lot to say about each of these games. Now I have the rest of my life to look forward to and to play a lot more games and hopefully find some new all-time favorites. Thanks for watching.